Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aqil Akmal bin ANUWA, metric number 0661 and 46. Today I will review about the case between KHAIRUL AZWAN HARUN and Muhammad Rafizi Ramli. This case was reported in 2016 in CLJ volume 9, page 858. CLJ, formerly known as the Malaysian Current Law Journal. Okay, this case was decided by High Court Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, and the judges are S. Naden Balanje. Facts about this case is the plaintiff was the Deputy Youth Chief of UMNO, while the defendant was a member of Parti Keadilan Rakyat and the Director of National Oversight and Whistleblowers. The defendant had made a series of press releases alleging that an arm of Majlis Amanah Rakyat, MARA, had purchased properties in Australia at hyperinflated price, and a portion of the purchase monies were channeled back to various parties within or connected to MARA or UMNO. On July 2015, the plaintiff commences a defamation action against the defendant on the grounds that the word in the press release implied that the plaintiff was guilty of corruption and abuse of power. The defendant submitted that the word were fair comment on a matter of public interest, but the plaintiff argued that the defendant failed to prove the defense of fair comment as the word were statement of fact not proven to be true and actuated by malice. Okay, the issue that arose the court's consideration were whether the impang word were defamatory of the plaintiff. Second, whether the defendant could rely on the defenses of fair comment and justification. And finally, whether the defendant's act was actuated by malice. Okay, for the judgment or holding, the expert discusses a defamation case where the court found that the defendant has established a defense of fair comment based on a chaste liberty meaning. The impang words did not suggest that the plaintiff was guilty of corruption or abuse of power, and the defendant was acting in the public interest to disclose wrongdoing involving public funds. Okay, lastly, for opinion and analysis. In my opinion, the passage presents a clear and a concise legal analysis of a defamation case in which the defendant was supported by the court. The court found that the defendant's remark did not suggest corruption or abuse of power on the plaintiff's part. The fair remark defense was applied, and the defendant was successful in justifying the third legal meaning of the contested phrases. The defendant's goal was to bring public attention to wrongdoings involving public funds and prompt those who were responsible for explaining or investigating them to come forward. That's all from me. Thank you.